Hello viewers, I am Dr. Pula Lakshmi, Assistant Professor of Distance Education, STRIDE, IGNOU. Welcome to this video. Today's topic is that media and learning. The main objective of media and learning, this video shall analyze the research literature on media and learning. The meaning of media and learning is here. Media plays a very important role in achieving the intended learning outcomes for the students by motivating them with clever use of sound, pictures, and animation. In technology enhanced learning environments, skillful integration of media with instructional method plays a very important role in achieving the intended learning outcomes. Different media serve to motivate students with clever use of sound, picture, and animation. Media also help us in representing context and situations from the real world to bring into the classroom for live demonstrations. The relationship between media and learning, Jonathan Campbell and Davidson in 1994 commented like this: learning through a computer is not the same as learning from a book or learning from a lecture. They are all different forms of learning and each results in a slightly different way of knowing about something. Deep understanding of meaning occurs when all forms of knowledge developed by a learner are internally reconciled and integrated by the learner. The constructivists put off like this: we need to focus on how media, however defined, can be used to facilitate this knowledge construction and meaning making on the part of the learner. Here we have to see that our system is a learner centered system. Distance education is a learner centered system. Media offers a lot of opportunities to make learning more interesting and meaningful. The media help us to bring outside world to the learners and learners to the outside world. Commenting on the utility of ICTs for teaching learning process, in 1997, Shank writes, contemporary information and communications technologies offer some reprieve from the defined and constraints of conventional classrooms. They afford us opportunities to capture and or represent a real world scenario for use of learners within the conventional classroom. There is a lot of difference between conventional classroom and distance education system. These representations can include actual images or stimulations of complex phenomena from the field, which can be a lot more easily integrated into the classroom curricula. They can be used as additional resources of the learning experience of students, as is possible in the case of goal-based or problem-based learning, case-based reasoning, or scenario-based learning. The review of no significance difference phenomena. Most of us always want to know whether technology makes any difference or not. Some of us will claim that using technology produces no significant difference, while some will say that technology has transformed education. To answer this question, whether the technology has transformed the education, or whether the technology is helping, or technology is no doubt about the technology is helping us, and using technology produces no significant difference, and that technology has transformed education. We'll see here that for this question, to answer this question, Richard Clarke in 1983 reviewed the results of comparative research on educational media and claimed that they provide consistent evidence for the generalization that there are no learning benefits to be gained from employing any specific medium to deliver instruction. Richard Clarke concludes that media do not influence learning under any conditions. Rather, media are mere vehicles that deliver instruction but do not influence students' achievement any more than the truck that delivers our groceries causes changes in our nutrition. There are many research reports saying that here Russell has referred 355 reports. What all those contained in what he is saying, no significant difference phenomena, no significant difference phenomena. That is, website have focused primarily on differences in the media rather than the methods employed via the medium. What he mentioned is the medium is more important. Again, he analyzed that Russell's collection highlights the fact that great majority of studies have found no significant difference, with significance being used here as a statistical term in student outcomes when the independent variable was the method of course delivery. Digital literacy and media sophistication is becoming necessary to succeed in every aspect of life. The digital media and digital learning and the online learning are this what saying is that digital literacy and media sophistication is becoming necessary to succeed in every aspect of life in every day. So it is critical that education focus much of its effort in teaching the new digital literatures as well as the old literacies of reading, writing and arithmetic. Yes, new technologies in society create demands for educating students in new skills. New media support the teaching of these skills better than more traditional instructional methods. These are so as the demand on education changes, understanding how to use new media to teach new skills in critical. Collins et al. In 2000 observed that when using media within learning environments, particularly e-learning environments, it is important to recognize the way media is processed by the brain. The learner can experience a cognitive overload with too much media. Now we will see here that how the brain processes images in working and animations, text and sound, and what are the best approaches to using these media together is helpful to understand the role of media in learning. The work of Mayer and Morino in 2000 provides valuable insight on this aspect. Learning environments skillfully utilize the strengths of various media attributes with powerful learning strategies such as problem solving, collaborative inquiry, and critical reflection to engage learners in meaningful and motivating learning tasks. In such educational settings, media take a very important role in both learning and teaching. To see here, converse, learning and teaching is optimized when media have been carefully selected and applied with sound instructional strategies to serve specific learning needs in different domains of learning. Naidu has observed in 2006. Cosma in 1994 analyzed that offers us a valuable advice to understand the role of media in learning by proposing that we must ground a theory of media in the cognitive and social processes by which knowledge is constructed. We must define media in ways that are compatible and complementary with these processes. We must conduct research on the mechanisms by which characteristics of media might interact with and influence these processes, and we must design our interventions in ways that embed media in these processes. This is what Cosma analyzed in 1994. Optimizing the influence of media in learning. The skillful integration of media and instructional method, that is, the learning and teaching strategies critical in the optimization of the influence of media in teaching strategies. It is critical in the optimization of the influence of media in learning. This requires careful selection and matching of media attributes with learning and teaching strategies. Continuation to this, contemporary information and communication technologies afford a wide range and variety of opportunities to rethink and re-engineer the nature of our teaching and learning practices. Learner and the learning process is the focus of program design, development, and delivery. In such educational settings, the learner, not the teacher, not the organization or technology, is in charge of the learning experience. Learner and learning centered educational processes and defining characteristics of situated learning environment. Now we will see that what is that situated learning environments. The concept of situated learning is grounded in the principles of constructivist learning theory. This is defined by Wilson in 1996. It is based on the belief that learning is most efficient and effective when it takes place within the context of realistic educational settings, which are either real or contrived. Brown, Collins, and Duguid in 1989 observed the roots of situated approaches to education and training and traceable to the concepts of experimental learning is defined by Dewey in 1958, and problem based learning is defined and borrowed in 1994, Kohler in 1925, Kofka in 1935, Worrell 2000. Example are situated learning environments use authentic learning tasks. Those are to immerse learners in the total ecology and culture of the subject matter that is being taught and learned. For examples, much like an apprentice carpenter is immersed in a building site with architects and experienced builders, Brown, Collins, and Doggett in 1989 defined and gave examples. These so called authentic learning tasks serve to anchor learning and teaching activities in order to scaffold learning and cognition. The Cognition and Technology Group at Vanderbilt in 1990 defined the notion of situated learning and the use of authentic learning tasks that serve to anchor and scaffold learning and teaching are heavily dependent on the use of real world or contrived educational activities that adequately reflect real world settings. These sorts of educational activities are inherently complex and, as such, time consuming to manage. They are harder to integrate into conventional classroom settings, which are limited by the opportunities they afford to engage students in authentic real world problem solving. While field trips and excursions offer occasional and limited opportunities, they are not enough. Therefore, many teachers and organizations refrain from engaging in situated learning activities in their classes and instead dependent on approaches that are a lot more expedient and teacher and subject matter. According to Naidu in 2006, the medium is not inert and it does not exist independently of the learning context and the subject matter content. In fact, when it is carefully integrated into the learning experiences, the medium often interacts with the instructional method to produce the intended learning outcomes for the students in a given learning context. Therefore, the media used along with the instructional method would seem to have an influence on learning. While we have a number of advices to optimize the influence of media in learning propounded by different educationists, among these educationists, Cosma in 1994 offers very good advice on the issue. I believe that if we move from do media influence learning to in what way can we use the capabilities of media to influence learning for particular student, tasks or situations? We will both advise the development of our field and contribute to the restructuring of schools and the improvement of education and training. Conclusion: media plays a very important role in achieving the intended learning outcomes for the students by motivating them with clever use of sound, pictures, and animation. Regarding use of technology, one interpretation holds that the use of technology to deliver courses does no harm, and the other interpretation is that technology does not help. Skillful integration of media and instructional method, that is learning teaching strategies, is critical in the optimization of the influence of media in learning. Thank you very much for bearing me.